In 2025, experts predicted that BRICS would experience a major expansion, with numerous rapidly developing economies joining this powerful economic alliance. Within the very first week of the year, Russia announced that 23 countries are lining up to become full members of BRICS, signaling a strong interest in joining the bloc. The most notable development so far is Indonesia's official acceptance as the first new full member of BRICS in 2025. This marks the beginning of a chain reaction, and raises a number of key questions. How did Indonesia's inclusion come about? What benefits does Indonesia gain from joining BRICS? And who are the other 23 countries eager to become members? Moreover, what does this expansion mean for BRICS's broader ambition to reduce reliance on the US dollar, especially in the face of President Trump's threats of imposing 100% tariffs on certain imports? In this analysis, we will explore how BRICS is positioning itself to challenge Western influence in the global economy in 2025. On January 1, 2025, BRICS officially entered a new chapter in its history. The economic bloc, which already represents 45% of the world's population and accounts for around 37% of global GDP, took a significant step by announcing its expansion plans for the year. Brazil, which assumed the presidency of BRICS for 2025, kicked off this new phase by welcoming Indonesia as the latest member. This move is highly symbolic, not only reinforcing BRICS's influence in Latin America but also boosting its presence in Asia. Indonesia, being the largest economy and most populous nation in Southeast Asia, significantly strengthens BRICS's position in a region traditionally dominated by Western powers, particularly the United States. By bringing Indonesia into the fold, BRICS is signaling its growing relevance in the global south and its ambition to offer an independent platform for nations seeking to recalibrate their roles in the global order. Indonesia's inclusion in BRICS is not just a diplomatic win, but also an economic one. Indonesia's strategic location at the crossroads of major trade routes in Southeast Asia, coupled with its influence within the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, enhances BRICS's geopolitical footprint in the region. Economically, Indonesia brings with it a GDP exceeding $1 trillion and a population of around 280 million. Its vast natural resources, from energy reserves to agricultural commodities, make it an important player in global supply chains. Indonesia's membership significantly contributes to BRICS's growth, not only by providing access to valuable resources but also by reinforcing the bloc's push for a more balanced and inclusive global economic order. The significance of Indonesia's membership extends beyond just economic and geopolitical benefits. Indonesia's decision to join BRICS also reflects a shift in its foreign policy. The country is moving away from its historical reliance on Western institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. In favor of BRICS's vision, Indonesia seeks to deepen its ties with emerging economies, aligning itself with a coalition that prioritizes cooperation over dependency. This move represents a growing trend among nations in the global south to distance themselves from the West and explore alternative partnerships based on mutual respect and shared interests. Indonesia's membership in BRICS is just the beginning. As of early 2025, 23 other countries have expressed a strong desire to join the bloc. These include nations such as Iran, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Chad, Colombia, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Honduras, Kuwait, Morocco, Myanmar, Nicaragua, Pakistan, Palestine, Senegal, South Sudan, Sri Lanka, Syria, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. The growing interest in BRICS demonstrates its expanding appeal as an alternative to Western-dominated institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. Countries that have traditionally struggled with debt, economic instability, and political interference are increasingly looking to BRICS as a more equitable platform that promises greater economic autonomy and a fairer distribution of power. One of the key drivers behind the growing interest in BRICS is the bloc's commitment to reducing reliance on the US dollar. For decades, the US dollar has been the dominant currency in global trade and finance, giving the United States unparalleled leverage over the global economy. This dollar-dominated system has allowed the US to impose sanctions on nations at will, freezing assets, and exerting significant economic pressure. For countries like Venezuela and Nigeria, which are rich in natural resources but have suffered under US sanctions, BRICS offers a way to bypass the dollar-based economic system and regain control over their resources. The BRICS bloc's push for dollarization, essentially promoting the use of local currencies for international trade and financial transactions, has become a central feature of its strategy. Countries like Venezuela and Nigeria, both major oil exporters, see BRICS as a platform that can help them circumvent US sanctions and avoid the economic volatility tied to the US dollar. BRICS's efforts to encourage the use of local currencies, like the Chinese yuan or the Indonesian rupiah, could potentially shift the dynamics of global trade. This shift would not only reduce exposure to currency fluctuations but also decrease countries' vulnerability to US-imposed sanctions. Indonesia's decision to join BRICS is particularly important in this context, given its role as a major exporter of energy and natural resources. As one of BRICS's key new members, Indonesia could play a crucial role in facilitating trade within the bloc using currencies other than the US dollar. Indonesia's relationship with Russia, for example, could allow the two countries to trade energy and resources directly in their local currencies, further reducing the reliance on the dollar. This could result in lower transaction costs and more favorable trade terms for both nations. Moreover, Indonesia could secure energy supplies at discounted prices, strengthening its economic position within BRICS and across the region. However, the question remains whether BRICS should accept every country that applies for membership or whether it should be more selective in its expansion. While the bloc's growing appeal is undeniable, BRICS is taking a careful and considered approach to its expansion. Russian officials, including Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, have emphasized that the process of admitting new members must be gradual, harmonized, and deliberate. The goal is to ensure that new members bring tangible value to the alliance and align with BRICS's core objectives of cooperation, economic sovereignty, and geopolitical balance. Some of the countries that have expressed interest in joining BRICS, such as Venezuela and Nigeria, have abundant natural resources, which could bolster the bloc's energy security. Other strategically located nations, like Pakistan and Morocco, could help expand BRICS's geopolitical reach. However, BRICS must remain cautious and ensure that any new members are in alignment with the group's shared values and priorities. The bloc is focused on maintaining cohesion among its existing members, avoiding potential conflicts of interest, and ensuring that the expansion process strengthens, rather than weakens, the alliance. A significant aspect of BRICS's strategy is Brazil's leadership in 2025. As the largest economy in Latin America and a founding member of BRICS, Brazil is in a unique position to bridge the gap between BRICS and its regional neighbors. Brazil's leadership is not just symbolic, it represents a strategic pivot towards deeper economic and geopolitical ties with Latin America, a region traditionally under US influence. By fostering closer ties with Latin American countries, Brazil can position BRICS as an alternative to the traditional US-dominated economic model, offering new opportunities for trade, investment, and financing. Latin America's vast natural resources, including oil, lithium, copper, and agricultural products, are central to its appeal for BRICS. For instance, Venezuela's immense oil reserves could contribute to BRICS's energy security goals, while countries like Chile and Bolivia, with their world-leading lithium resources, could help BRICS dominate the renewable energy sector. Argentina's agricultural and energy wealth further complements BRICS's goals of reducing reliance on Western supply chains. In addition, Latin America's strategic position, with access to both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, could help enhance BRICS's global trade routes and connectivity. The growing influence of BRICS in Latin America is also geopolitically significant. For decades, the region has been considered America's backyard, subject to US political and economic interventions that often served US interests. BRICS offers an alternative model based on mutual respect, sovereignty, and equitable trade. By joining BRICS, Latin American countries could gain access to new markets, investment opportunities, and financing from institutions like the New Development Bank, without the political strings typically attached to Western loans. This growing economic and political cooperation could shift the balance of power in the region and reduce its historical dependence on the United States. The expansion of BRICS, with new members from Asia, Africa, and Latin America, is part of a broader vision to create a multipolar world order, one that is less reliant on traditional economic powerhouses and offers diverse pathways to growth and prosperity. As BRICS grows in influence, the question remains: should the bloc continue to be selective in choosing its new members, or should it accept all applicants? This is a key debate as BRICS navigates the challenges and opportunities presented by its expansion. In conclusion, the expansion of BRICS is poised to reshape the global economic landscape, offering a counterbalance to Western-dominated financial institutions and providing a platform for emerging economies to assert their sovereignty. As new countries apply for membership, the bloc must remain strategic in its decisions, ensuring that each new member contributes meaningfully to BRICS's collective goals. The year 2025 marks a pivotal moment in BRICS's evolution, with Indonesia's inclusion setting the stage for further growth and influence across the globe. BRICS's push for dollarization and economic sovereignty, alongside its commitment to a more inclusive global order, positions it as a key player in the evolving geopolitical landscape. What do you think about BRICS's expansion? Should the bloc admit all the countries that apply for membership, or should it be more selective in choosing new members? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated on the latest geopolitical developments, don't forget to subscribe.